All right, hey now, Ceramics 2 Studio and Ceramics 1, everybody. I'm sending in a couple more videos. I'll talk about those in a second. Speaking of videos, the district sent out a grading presentation last week, so you know how grading works. I watched that as well, so any questions about that? Um, those of you that have clay, keep working on that stuff and send me images so I can grade the stuff. Um, Most likely tomorrow I'll head into school if I have an opportunity to do that. Um, I have to check the schedule. So you let me know by this afternoon if there's something in there I should grade. I have a big list from a lot of you who have already contacted me. So I'll look for those things and I'll grade those things. And a couple of videos today for those of you that don't have clay. Both things I've not seen before. The first one is how to make a juicer where you squeeze the fruit and squeeze out the juice, like an orange, for instance. And I'd like you to notice how the guy centers really quickly and much different than what I've told you. The principles are all the same, but I just want you to notice his technique. I know a lot of people struggle at centering, and I just like to reiterate that there are many, many different ways to go about it. The principles are always the same. You've got to get the clay centered. But anyway, notice how he does that. Then secondly, in both of these videos, they're going to close off an open form, completely close it. And the technique the guy uses for this juicer is very similar to the one I use. Well, it's the same really, but when you open up a pot and it's too thin, near the bat, we check it with a needle, and I take some clay off the side and I move it over toward the middle, and that's what he does to create this juicer form in the middle. Secondly, it's really quick. There's no dialogue, unfortunately, so the guy doesn't explain how to do it, but it was unique enough I thought I'd show it to you. It's the guy making a shape very similar to a pumpkin on the pottery wheel. And I hope you guys are all doing well, not stuck in too much. I get out to ride the bicycle when the weather allows it. Yesterday I went on like I think it was a little over 15 miles. So it's a good long ride for me anyway. And then if I wasn't able to do that, I'd be going nuts. I did have a friend who's a Chicago public school teacher on Facebook the other day. She says, I'm going out after 42 days. She was all masked up and a shield in front of her face. After 42 days inside. Now, I think she lives in an apartment, so it's not like you and I can just step out the front door, maybe, if you have a house like that, and then you're in your yard or whatever. Um, so, again, can't imagine that. Also, hopefully you guys aren't working too much. I've heard from a couple of students whose parents are out of work, so they're having to work, as many hours as possible at whatever job they have. And to get by, and it's a weird situation and a tough one. This is something you're going to remember the rest of your lives. Like, you guys are all too young, but I remember 9/11, and these are similar in some ways. In that there was the world before 9/11, and then there was the world after 9/11, and it was not the same. It's going to be the same thing with this, I believe. I read about all these different scenarios of what the world might look like, what air travel might look like. But the difference between 9/11 and this, said to my drawing class when I made the video earlier, was 9/11 was swift and it was traumatic. It was something else, and it was very sad because everything happened like that. Now the difference with this thing is it's very, very slow to develop. We went through this period where some people were denying it, and now we're at this place, and how do we get beyond here? And it's going to be a long thing, but like 9/11, I think it's going to be a world-changing thing, and I just thought that was worth mentioning because you guys, young people, are, this is something you'll remember for the rest of your lives, and probably tell your kids about or whatever. Hopefully hopefully nothing worse happens in the future. You know, I've seen a lot of articles about a wave 2 or whatever. Anyway, let's not get into that. I hope you're having a decent enough time as possible during this situation, and I hope you're doing really well. And comment on the videos to get your points, and I'll talk to you again maybe Wednesday. And the remote's not working, folks.